What's up, everyone? It is Atia here at Booking with Atia, and welcome back to our Kwanzaa recommendations. It is day 3, which is all about celebrating Ujima, known as collective work and responsibility. Before we dive in, I do want to remind you to check out my Etsy shop and my bonfire, where you can get yourself some bookmarks or some merch. And if you're wondering, like, what even is Kwanzaa? Atia from the past is going to just butt in and give us a brief history on Kwanzaa and its creation. Created by Dr. Malana Karinga in 1966, Kwanzaa is a week-long African-American and Pan-African holiday taking place December 26th through January 1st. Kwanzaa celebrates family, community, and culture and blends communitarian values and the practices of continental African and African American cultures. Each day of the week-long holiday focuses on one of the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles. Much like with my previous 2 videos, which you should definitely go check out, dealing with the first day's principle, Umoja, and the second day's principle, Kujitakalia, I am giving 7 Black authored books that star Black characters, all dealing with or heavily featuring the theme of Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. Starting off with Return of the Sister Samurai by Tatiana Obey. I've wanted nothing more than to become a Sister Samurai. When I was expelled from the training academy for Sneaky and my stupid ex-boyfriend, I still had hope that I could cry enough to convince them to take me back. Then demons invaded the capital and decimated the clan, and there went my dreams of ever naming my own pair of pink swords. Until I heard a rumor of one last Sister Samurai. I packed my favorite outfits and my trusty teddy bear and recruited my forever bestie to help me find her. If we could manage not to interrupt her lunch, maybe we could convince her to train us. We were ready to do whatever she asked, even if that meant confronting old flames and taking down the patriarchy, as long as we looked good while doing it. The sequel of Sister Samurai is an action fantasy novella that is an homage to the anime Afro Samurai. Both works feature a feudal Japan inspired setting that is rife with anachronisms. Highly recommend that both of those books. Love them. Next up, we have The Ending Fire by Sarah L. Arifi, and the synopsis I'm going to read for this is actually the synopsis of book 1, because The Ending Fire is the last book in the trilogy. Sila dreams of days growing up in the resistance, being told she would spark a revolution that would free the empire from the red-blooded ruling class's tyranny. That spark was extinguished the day she watched her family murdered before her eyes. Honor has been told she's nothing, no one, a disappointment, by the one person that matters, her mother, the most powerful ruler in the empire. But when Sila and Honor meet, a fire burns between them that could consume the kingdom and their hearts. Hassa moves through the world unseen by upper classes, so she knows what it means to be invisible. But invisibility has its uses. It can hide the most dangerous of secrets, secrets that can reignite a revolution. And when she joins forces with Sila and Honor, together these grains of sand will become a storm. As the Empire begins a set of trials and combat and skills designed to find its new leaders, the stage is set for blood to flow, power to shift, and cities to burn. Book number 3 on this recommendations list is Hood Feminism by Mikki Kendall, which is a nonfiction. Right. Today's feminist movement has a glaring blind spot, and paradoxically, it is women. Mainstream feminists rarely talk about meeting basic needs as a feminist issue, argues Mikki Kendall. But food insecurity, access to quality education, safe neighborhoods, a living wage, and medical care are all feminist issues. All too often, however, the focus is not on basic survival for the many, but on increasing privilege for the few. Prominent white feminists broadly suffer from their own myopia with regard to how things like race, class, sexual orientation, and ability intersect with gender. How can we stand in solidarity as a movement, Kendall asks, when there is a distinct likelihood that some women are oppressing others? In her searing collection of essays, Mikki Kendall takes aim at the legitimacy of the modern feminist movement, arguing that it has chronically failed to address the needs of all but a few women. Drawing on her own experiences with hunger, violence, and hypersexualization, along with incisive commentary on politics, pop culture, the stigma of mental health, and more, Hood Feminism delivers an irrefutable indictment of a movement in flux. An unforgettable debut, I agree. Kendall has written a ferocious clarion call to all would-be feminists to live out the true mandate of the movement in thought and in deed. Next up, we have Sisters with a Side of Greens by Michelle Stimson. Sisters Rose Tillman and her sister Marvina Nash haven't spoken in decades. Not since Rose sent Marvina $40 to register their business, and Marvina used that money for her own personal purposes. Now retired, Rose wants to open the restaurant they'd once dreamed of. But to her horror, Rose realizes she's forgotten her mother's secret spice mix recipe, known to only one other person in the world. With no other option, Rose embarks on a 2-hour drive to Marvina's house back in Fork City, Texas. Marvina has her own version of what caused their falling out, and it's a far cry from what Rose recalls. Marvina, skeptical and still indignant, but incurably polite, figures she'll give Rose a chance to speak her piece before closing the door in her face. As the sisters fight their way to forgiveness, they unpack their complicated past, from an unexpected alliance with a young mother-to-be, and reconnect through the tantalizing aroma of chicken dinners that hold the power to heal or divide a community. In a tale rich with Southern charm, Rose and Marvina discover through fussing, laughter, and tears that the secret ingredient to a bright future might just be found in facing who they are today, and in forgiving the past to embrace a second chance at sisterhood. Then we have, funnily enough, another nonfiction recommendation, which I guess makes sense that there would be two nonfiction on here when the principle is collective work and responsibility. And we have The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates. The first of the book's 3 intertwining essays is set in Dakar, Senegal. Despite being raised as a strict Afrocentrist, Coates has never set foot on the African continent until now. He roams the steampunk city of old traditions and new machinery, but everywhere he goes, he feels as if he's in two places at once: the modern city in Senegal and a mythic kingdom in his mind. Finally, he travels to the slave castles off the coast and has his own reckoning with the legacy of the Afrocentric dream. He takes readers along with him to Columbia, South Carolina, where he meets an educator whose job is threatened for teaching one of Coates' own books. There, he discovers a community of mostly white supporters who were transformed by the racial reckoning of 2020. But he also explores a backlash to this reckoning and the deeper myths of this community. A capital of the Confederacy with statues of segregationists looming over its public squares. And in Palestine, Coates discovers the devastating gap between the narratives we've accepted and the clashing reality of life on the ground. He meets with activists and dissidents, Israelis and Palestinians, the old who remember their dispossessions on 2 continents, and the young who have only known struggle and disillusionment. He travels into Jerusalem, the heart of Zionist mythology, and to the occupied territories, where he sees the reality the myth is meant to hide. It is this hidden story that draws him in and profoundly changes him, and makes the war that would soon come all the more devastating. Written at a dramatic moment in American and global life, this work from one of the country's most important writers is about the urgent need to untangle ourselves from the destructive nationalist myths that shape our world and our own souls, and embrace the liberating power of even the most difficult truths. Book number 6 is Untethered by Angela Jackson Brown. In the small college town of Troy, Alabama, amidst the backdrop of 1967, Katia Daniel lives a life steeped in responsibility. At the Pike County Group Home for Negro Boys, she pours her heart into nurturing the young lives under her care, harboring a longing for children of her own. Katia's romantic entanglement with an older man brings comfort, but also stirs questions about the path she's chosen. The weight of her family's history bears down on her. A twin brother is missing in action in the heart of the Vietnam War. Having lost her father to cancer, Katia took up the mantle of caretaker, ensuring her mother and brothers were looked after. Her sense of duty extends to the boys at the group home, creating a web of obligations that stretches her emotional bandwidth. Amidst a power struggle at work with the board, Katia finds solace in the pages of romance novels and the soothing melodies of Nina Simone. When Seth Taylor, a familiar face from her high school days, re-enters Katia's life, he brings with him a breeze of nostalgia and a reminder of a time when her dreams felt less tethered. As their friendship rekindles, Katia grapples with the idea of making choices for herself, even as the realization that she can no longer have children weighs heavily on her. This novel is a poignant tale of a woman torn between the demands of her heart and the responsibilities she's shouldered for too long. Set against the backdrop of a changing South, this novel delves into the complexities of love, family, and self-discovery in a time of transformation and upheaval. Book number 7 is The Vanquishers by Kaylin Bayron. Malika Boog Wilson and her best friends have grown up idolizing the Vanquishers, a group of heroic vampire hunters who wiped out the last horde of the undead decades ago. Nowadays, most people don't take even the most basic vampire precautions. The days of garlic wreaths and early curfews long gone, but Boog's parents still follow the old rules, much to her embarrassment. When a friend goes missing, Boog isn't sure what to think. Could it be the school counselor, Mr. Rupert, who definitely seems to be hiding something? Or could it be something more dangerous? Boog is determined to save her friend, but is she ready to admit vampires might not be vanquished after all? No one expected the vanquishers to return, but if their town needs protection from the undead, Boog knows who to call. And that is it in terms of the 7 recommendations for Ujima, Collective Work and Responsibility. If you like this video, make sure to like and comment down below what books would you add to this recommendation list. If you haven't already, make sure you are 1, subscribed, and that you have clicked the notification bell so you're notified whenever I put out a new video, because there is a video coming tomorrow for day 4 of the Kwanzaa recommendations. And if you want to further support the channel, you can check out my Etsy and my Bonfire, or consider becoming a Patreon or a channel member. And I will see you in another video. Bye!
Weakness showing, I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man, I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo, got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm